Hey everyone, Deva here, and today I have another build video for you guys, and it's gonna be for Viessa, the updated build as promised from last week, because I managed to farm Ultimate Viessa and put a few modules in. I just want to say that you don't need Ultimate Viessa, and I think she's useless. This is your module in absolute 0, but it increases just the spheres by 2. I don't think it's anywhere of a DPS increase. Preferably, I think you want here to have Cold-Blooded, which I still haven't farmed or dropped, because I have other priorities. And I know you guys wanted build videos of multiple characters, but if you don't buy them and it's like, I have my priorities, like I wanted to max out a character and a weapon, and now I'm on a stage where I actually managed to max out Viessa and my Thunder Cage fully. So I can do the Viessa build today. So yeah, let's go to it. Cold Cohesion, as I said, you don't need it, you can use it. It's probably around one of the best in slots you can use here, but it really doesn't matter. Use whatever you want. Your most DPS doesn't come from this skill, so use whatever makes it better for you. Front lines for critical hit damage and crit rate, very important for this skill, because this skill hits like a truck, so you want to pump out crit damage. HP I think is mandatory to have like a baseline of 8 to 10,000. And then the rest invested in defense and shield. Skill expansion, as I mentioned, the tornado is like your biggest DPS skill, and you really like wanted to have more range, because the issue with it is like monsters or bosses move really fast out of it. So you want to like extending the range will allow you to have more uptime on bosses and monsters with this skill. And not only that, the range also increases the radius of the spikes, which have a super short range, and the range of this, like it's like a bigger AoE clearing thing. Like range, I think, is one of the best skill that you can use in Ultimate Viessa, but do as you please. If you don't like range, you can replace it with something else. I think it makes it very comfortable, especially for clearing, spamming this attacks. Cooldown, very good. It brings this down to under 5 seconds, so for clearing you can spam it. And also for the tornado, so you can use it more often instead of once in a minute. More crit and hit damage for the tornado, the blizzard. Now here you can use against whatever you want. I prefer long distance simply because, you know, I'm around Frostwalker. Like I farm Frostwalker, not the last guy, because I need absolute 0 just to make a build. So climbing like really high up or jumping off a cliff and reaching a long distance has for me personally more value. But you may like something else here. This right here is one of the biggest damage increase you're gonna get. Skill power modifier, supposedly it's much better than skill power on Viessa. And yeah, it's gonna boost your damage of your tornado by quite a bit. Focus on chill for chill power and some extra cooldown. Skill concentration for extra crit damage, and skill insight for extra crit rate. And now, this is on this slot you can use whatever else you want. You can go for defense, you can go for whatever else is comfortable for you. I like to like speed killing for fun bosses, and I bring myself to 50% HP before the fight even starts, if you saw my Pyromancer run or an attempt on it. And then you get maxed out plus 30 firearm attack and plus 30 skill power modifier, which is massive. It's actually really huge. And you can also max it out by putting another catalyst here, but I don't think it's worth the investment for me. So I want to save my catalysts for the new character that I'm going to start, Ultimate Lepic or Sharon, because I'm planning to do a sniper one-shot build that one-shots bosses. For clearing here, obviously MP Collector, it's you're never going to run out of mana, and spamming this every 5 seconds, dude, you will love the build like once it's maxed out. Viessa is a really good character, also with the cooldown. This has like 100% uptime, because you see duration is 19 seconds, but cooldown is 17 seconds. So you have 100% uptime, and yeah, it's really good for clearing dungeons and mobility. I think Viessa is one of the best cards in the game. Like I would definitely put her on S tier. Now of course she doesn't have like exploits like Lepic where you can one-shot bosses with that burst, or Glaive where you do infinite launcher ammo. But for like a non-exploitable character, she's like S tier. She has a mid-range, she has a high burst damage with a tornado, she like can clear on herself dungeon bosses in like one shot with a tornado, and skill speed. I'm pretty happy maining Viessa. Now for the Frostbite build, I don't have anything simply because I don't have absolute 0. But how that will look like is basically the same, except here there will be absolute 0 module, which you farm from the Frostwalker. Now what this does is instead of Ice Shackle, it will inflict Frostbite. And that will also trigger Ice Spheres. But I think the uptime on Ice Spheres is anyway a lot. Honestly, I don't know about it. Like if you actually want to go for a Frostbite build, I would recommend you using the Polar set. The Polar set, for each stack of Frostbite, which, yeah, on bosses, you're gonna have like a firearm critical damage plus 70% and 60% skill critical damage on 10 stacks. So if you put your chill enhancement on your weapon, you don't need absolute 0, because that will already, I'm pretty sure that gives Frostbites. And for clearing, you will have massive AoEs. But the thing is that right now in the game, we don't really have hard clearing content. Like it's, you don't even need to be remotely maxed out to clear normal monsters because you don't have that much HP. But once we get harder content, then in combination the Thunder Cage explosion with this explosion from the Frostbite is gonna be massive. Because as you can see, this does something similar like the Thunder Cage. Killing enemies does like AoE damage. So yeah, I think the Frostbite set will be crazy if you actually get hard wave clearing content. I actually can think of one hard mission, but which is the fortress defense, but there you just need a good Ajax that protects the shield and like 2-3 people that clear somewhat well. Alright, let's go quickly over the reactors and components. So you want to have always Colossus, damage against Colossus, because that's where you're gonna need your damage. You're not gonna need it against normal mobs. And for secondary, you want skill critical hit damage, or crit rate, or even tech or chill ratio, whatever. Just not what I have. I just have been very unlucky getting one of those four. Preferably crit damage or rate. Components, I used the Slayer set, and now I saw some person in the comments saying you don't need general round capacity because you can use the exploit of using on your secondary the modules with extra capacity, which shares the same ammo, and you're gonna have more when you pick up with that weapon. But yeah, you don't use it for that. Rounds per magazine. Rounds per magazine is the biggest, one of the biggest DPS increases on your game for your weapon. Like we have, Angbata made a very nice calculator. It's the first actual real DPS calculator when you can put two builds and compare build versus build. Because a build versus build comparison is an actual fair comparison. But yeah, you just have to put the right numbers and uptime in. And we saw there that magazine actually makes a huge difference. Even if it's just 2 bullets, it doesn't matter that it's 2 bullets. 2 bullets on 20 bullets is still 10%. You're still getting 10% more ammo. You're shooting per magazine 10% more ammo. Skill cost plus 15% of course is not as good, but you're not gonna have an MP problem with MP collector and clearing. And skill power plus 26% is nice. Now, you don't really need to go for the set. I'm a huge believer, and I think factually there is no such thing as the best set. It always depends what matchup you're fighting, and there is a couple of good sets. So for set, I really recommend you guys whatever feels best for you, because there is one that increases like firearm attack. So getting 10% of that, or 10% more magazine size, or 10% more skill power is kind of balances out. There shouldn't be any fixed slot for that. I like this. I'm going for this. I may change it eventually, but yeah. So yeah, that was it again. And if you guys actually want to see some gameplay, I'll leave you with some how she plays against bosses or against clearing. And besides of that, hope you guys enjoyed the video, the updated Viessa build. And with that said, I wish you all a nice day and happy gaming, guys.